G'day y'all, welcome back to the workbench. Now, this is a long time coming update. This is the Airfix Sea King conversion build. I have been installed on this project for a couple of months now, and finally got the fire burning and got this thing moving again. Okay, as you can see here, I've gone from having a plain model to it's painted and decaled. I had some dramas. Oh, just noticed something. I had some dramas with doing the paint scheme. I didn't use the templates. These are the templates that you get given. I've outlined them in black. When I started using them, they didn't really conform to the topology of the kit, especially considering I've come along and stuck some extra details along the kit as I've made it. So these things, I test fit one and it didn't work, so I traced around with a black pen, that's why there's black pen around it, and used Tamiya tape to give me a bit more control. That failed because I used a knife. I put the Tamiya tape down, had a template cut out, put over top, and I tried to freehand cut around the shapes, and I ended up cutting into the plastic itself. Don't know why. It was a brand new blade and a knife, so I had to sand everything back again and start from scratch with the paint job again. Second time round, what did I do? First time round, actually, I painted the grey first, all over, hit the white and hit the blue. That's where some of the problems I had, because I came down and masked off the grey. This time round, I went backwards. So I did the white, mastered off the white, then put the the grey on top, and that appeared to be a bit better because I could actually control the shape a bit better. Then freehand the blue. As you can see, it's a bit of feathering on the edge there. At the naked eye, it looks actually crap. The camera's coming out quite nice on that finish there. As you see underneath, there's actually, you can't really see it too well on the camera, there's actually a problem with that decal. I'll go into that shortly. You also get, actually no, sorry, you don't also get. Alright, so I glossed this with some Future, I think it was, no sorry, Pledge One Go, which is the Australian equivalent to the Future, and started decaling. Now, I started off with the easy stuff. All the colours on the blue here, they have a white decal that goes down first, then you put the colour decal on top. That went on quite nicely, and I was using micro setting decaling solution, and it makes the decals flush, almost flush with the paintwork. Without really searching for it, you couldn't tell there was a decal there. If you actually tried different angles and a few other things, you could actually see the outline of the decal. Just going back on the decals a bit, you get the decals. Where did I stick it? That's gone now. Here's what's left of the decals. That's one complete card. The card was about, I'd say it was 15 centimeters by 10 centimeters full of decals, and another one of about 5 by 10 with the white on it. And it's a complete card of clear decal carrier film with the colour painted on top of it. So you actually have to cut out each decal as closely as possible to the colour to make it work a bit better. Now these are Hawkeye decals. They are a bit rubbery. I don't know why, but I had a lot of problems, even with a brand new out of the packet sharp knife, cutting the decals. Actually, you had to cut right through the backing paper in order to cut the decal film itself. So I managed to cut around some shapes. If the cut didn't go through properly, and I had a lot of those problems around the place, you couldn't even tear the decal away from each other. If you did, you actually stretched it. So I had a bit of a problem there with that shark especially was a problem for me. For some strange reason, even though I ran over it several times, there was still a bit of decal film that wouldn't cut. So I was able to get around a bit of those. The white went down okay, the coloured went on top okay, and then the white sections there was no problems, they just went straight on. This decal here, this 50, clear transparency went straight, sorry, not clear transparency, clear decal filled that hole. Oops. And the same with the cargo door as well. I haven't finished doing the cargo door yet. And I just, once it was dry, I cut it. I cut a triangle, diagonals across the square, and using the micro set again, just managed to get it to fold over. Can you see it? Oh, no, you can't. Yeah, okay, that's the back side of the door. You're not going to see that because it's going to be open. It's going to be like that. It's almost a waste of decal having that decal there because you're not going to see most of it. It's going to be like that once finished. So it went on okay. The challenge part. These decals, as I said, are a bit rubbery, akin to vinyl, I'd say. I had problems with the nose decals. Now there is 4 pieces here. You got this part of the flag here which wraps around. Same over here. Was it 4 or 5? You got this piece here for the chin, and this part up here. Whoops, this part up here. So there's the chin decal, and this part up here. As you can see, I've got a bit of topology to the nose. I've got wires coming down. I've got raised detail all over the shop. So fitting this on caused a lot of problems because it would go over this wire here. If I had hindsight, I'd go back and fix it up. I'd do it differently, like cut this decal, measure it and cut it so that it slides underneath the underneath the wire. But regardless whether I went underneath the wire or not, I still had the same problem where conforming to the shape of everything. And I just found a fault. I had to use a lot of setting solution over and over and over and over. I told quite a lot of setting solution to get these to snuggle down properly. Moving was a problem because you had multiple alignment issues. You had to align all the colors in one direction and all the alignment in another direction. I'll throw some stills in shortly. I took some photos as I was doing this. This chin decal, I don't know whether it was my workmanship, the design of the decal, whatever. It was not positioned correctly, so I had to go back and paint it white in that area there. The decals themselves, all the red here, they overlapped each other. So I had a colour variance between what the red here looks like and what it looks like here on the nose. I went back and I used, which one was it? Those two. So these are Citadel miniature paint colours. So that's Overland Sunset and what's that? Mephiston Red. Mix those together almost like a 1-to-1 ratio, and fixed up the paints. I had fixed up the decals, so I had to realign, mask off some of the colours, redo the colours. Some locations it was by freehand. This one here was a lot of problem because it not overlapped, it also was it overlapped like that. So I had quite a bit of excess decal I had to paint over and get rid of. So it was an hour work just to get all this fixed up properly. Then I came back and I've used black from those Citadel paints again to do all the black framing around the nose here. Masking. You gotta be careful when you mask over this decal as well. It wants to lift with the tape, and that's using Tamiya tape. Okay, I also painted this thing here. I can't remember what that was. Just painted it. Added some colour to the engine here. Fixed the door so far, so there you can see there the doors glued on. Painted black. Used the black again from the game colour range. Sorry, the Citadel range. Painted all that. Painted inside the jet exhaust there with gun metal from the Humbrol range. And painted all these aerials here white and grey. Some of them were actually grey. I still got a bit more painting to do on here. You probably can't see it too clearly on the bottom, and it looks like my lights are causing a lot of colour variances here. There's a lot of black underneath here. Now what I've done is this wire here, I actually hit it with a Nico, a permanent marker. The good old Sharpie permanent marker. I just hit it with that just to see if I could improve the appearance. And what happened was my handling of it is rubbing against here and rubbing onto the underside. So I've got a lot of problems there with the colours. I'm hoping I can fix that up while I dry brush some white on there, or add some weathering, but these things don't get weathered underneath. Most of the weathering will be on top due to the engine exhausts spraying over the helicopter. Okay, all I got to do now is fix up those areas, and I just saw another area I got to fix up. Oh man. Then this thing's ready to be gloss coated, and I'm going to be weathering it. I've also got the doors all ready to rock and roll for a flat coating, clear coat flat coat. I got the rear propeller done. How I did the rear propeller was I used just a Tamiya tape folded over itself, punched a hole through it, measured out. I think these are 2mm increments apart here. Just measured out 2mm increments on the paper and just masked off all the white, then painted it white, came back and where the increments are, masked off the white so I could paint the red. Yeah, I did that both sides. What else have I got done? The filter for on top is ready to rock and ride. And you just saw the cargo door before, so I'm happy with where I am. Just do a bit more work and I'll fix this thing up. Okay, the headache I have really got myself into. I think I showed you this in a previous video my hard work with making the rotor blades. And where'd the other half go to? Oh, there it is. Okay, the rotor blades, all that nice work. Okay, Exhibit A, this is one blade. I cut off the second blade, and I'll use my board here. Okay, as you can see, there's a nice curve in it. That is supposed to be straight along there. And it's not one propeller, it's not two propellers, it's all of them. They're all curved on me. I don't know why. I suspect it's because I put putty down on top of it, and the putty decided to twist it as it was drying. So I've got a lot of problems in there now. I'm trying to think of a way around it, and the only way I can figure on how to fix it is I've made another propeller. Well, it's just one propeller, so it's nice and straight as well. It's to the shape I want it, and I'm going to cast it in resin. So get some silicon RTV, and cast this bad boy in resin. And as you just saw before, I've removed them all. So I'm just going to cut off where the blade might mount onto the main rotor head, and just, yeah, I'll end up pin and super glue the resin blades in. So that's probably another, what's that, to cast as a day to make the RTV, and a couple of minutes to pour the rubber. That's right, to pour the resin. So it's not too much hard work. What I did this time is I actually just got a metal rod down the length here. That's fairly stiff rod. Here it is here. Here's one of my earlier templates. I was trying the Tamiya epoxy. Was it epoxy polyester? Sorry, polyester putty, and yeah, my tube is something wrong with the polyester, and it didn't set properly. Well, it didn't set at all. It was sticky. It was hideous. So I've gone away from the polyester. I was thinking about hand building each single propeller, but it's going to cost a bit. Actually, no, it's going to cost about $10, I reckon, total to do it all by the time I get to the brass. But it's not worth it. It's easier to go casting the resin. Okay, that's all for the update, I think. Just got to, yeah, add all that stuff to it. I'm close to finishing. Propeller is one. The main rotor blades are one thing. Finishing this off, flat coating it, gloss coating it, and doing a few things. I'm very close to finish. I reckon there's a couple of hours left. The main thing is I just got to cut off the decal. Cut the decal away from the nose here, so I can get access to the avionics bay and weather that. Fix up the cross inside for the first aid box on the wall there. That's that white placard. And yes, let's just finish up painting it and weathering it, and yeah, go from there. Alright, I'm rambling. Time for me to get back to work. Catch you shortly.